Hey, what's going on guys, it's Hawksense here, back with another Call of Duty mobile video. In today's video, we'll actually be looking at the M16 assault rifle, which I would classify as the most unique weapon inside of the game. Now, this weapon is very unique because there's a couple different traits about it that are totally out of class, totally different than the other assault rifles. And there's actually even something that's totally unique to the M16. The goal of this video will be to show you guys exactly how the M16 is, whether or not it's good, and if you use it, how exactly you should use it to actually optimize the effectiveness of the M16. First of all, the free-to-play version of this weapon is unlocked at level 46. The M16 is actually a 3-round burst assault rifle, and what that means is when you press the fire button, the gun will automatically shoot 3 rounds in quick succession. If you actually hold down the fire button, it'll shoot 3 rounds, it'll take a short break, and then it'll shoot 3 rounds again, and it'll continue to do that until the weapon runs out of ammo, or you release the fire button. This means that if you want to only shoot 1 or 2 bullets, that is totally impossible, considering that the gun has to shoot the full 3 rounds before you can do anything else with it. One of the pros of this is the fact that the weapon will shoot these 3 rounds extremely fast, and the con of this is that you have less control of your shots. If you don't actually use burst weapons that often, this will be something that will take some getting used to, so if you use this weapon and don't like it at the start, it's likely because of that. This also means that the way you play with this weapon has to be a lot different, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more very soon. Now let's go ahead and delve into the damage and the range. Now this is where the weapon actually gets extremely interesting. The thing that makes the M16 so unique to other weapons is the damage multipliers on the body. With most weapons in the game, the damage to the legs, arms, and body will be the exact same, and then the headshot damage will be a little bit higher. The M16 is actually totally different from the standard. The multipliers for the M16 are the legs and the stomach do 1 times damage, so just normal damage. The arms do 1.2 times damage, and the head and the chest do 1.4 times damage. So whenever I say a damage, the arms will be 1.2 times as much, and the head and chest will be 1.4 times as much. So now let's go ahead and look at the damages per range. For our first range, we have 0 to 26 meters. I do want to mention that this range is with all attachments and all sights. The only attachment that actually has an effect on the M16 is the suppressor, which will actually negatively impact your range. So I do not recommend that attachment at all. I think it will absolutely hinder your performance. But yeah, so at 0 to 26 meters, we have a damage of 30 to the legs and stomach, 36 to the arms, and 42 to the head and chest. I will go over what these damages mean for you very soon, but first let's just go ahead and get through the ranges. Next up is 27 to 37 meters, and we have damages of 23, 27.6, and 32.2. Next up is 38 meters to 47 meters, and we have damages of 20.1, 25, 29.4. And then lastly, at 48 meters and above, we have damages of 18.9, 22.7, and 26.5. If you're not aware, it actually takes 100 damage to kill someone. So let's go ahead and see how many shots it actually takes to kill someone with this weapon. And the range we're going to look at is 0 to 26 meters because this is where the weapon, or the M16, shines the most. So just to remind you guys, the M16 is a burst rifle, so it'll shoot 3 shots very fast. And then after those 3 shots, it'll take a short break before you can shoot another 3 shots. Because of this, it is very important to kill people in 3 shots to kill them as fast as possible. If you're actually able to kill someone in 3 shots, the M16 is the fastest killing assault rifle of any assault rifle. But once again, you have to be able to kill them in 3 shots to actually have the M16 be the fastest. If you're not able to connect on all 3 shots and you have to shoot another burst, the time to kill of this weapon drops down significantly. So that makes this weapon a very high skill AR. Now, if we go ahead and look at the damages, the legs and stomach is 30 damage from 0 to 26 meters. What this means is if you hit them in the legs or stomach 3 times, you'll do 90 damage, so you won't actually kill someone that is full HP. Even if you get 2 shots to the leg or stomach, and then your 3rd shot connects in the arms, you won't actually kill the opponent in 3 shots. So when you're actually playing in a close quarter combat situation, which once again 0 to 26 meters, you want to be aiming for the chest area. This is because as your gun kicks up, because the M16 does have a decent amount of recoil, but as your gun kicks up, you'll be hitting the chest and head. or you'll be hitting the arms and the chest or the arms and the head, whatever it is. As long as you get 3 shots and all 3 of those shots are to the arms, chest, or head, you'll be one bursting people. If someone is running sideways and you can only see their arms, just go ahead and aim for the arms. And this is because if you hit the arms 3 times, you will do 109 damage, which is a guaranteed 1 burst kill. In close quarters combat from 0 to 26 meters, this is the only time the M16 can get a 3-shot kill on someone that is full HP. After 27 meters all the way up to, as far as you want to go, the gun will need another full burst to kill the enemy player. Technically speaking, if you're able to hit all 6 shots of 2 bursts, you will always kill someone. It never takes 7 shots or a 3rd burst to kill somebody. This is, of course, assuming you hit all your shots. So the farther range you get away, you shouldn't be focusing as much on aiming for the chest and the head because the gun kicks, and if you're farther away, it's going to be a lot harder to control recoil because the enemy player gets smaller and smaller the farther away they are. So the best thing you can aim for when someone gets farther away is the stomach and the legs. This is because as the gun kicks up, you'll be hitting the chest and the head area. If you are aiming for the chest or the head when they're far away, the gun will kick up and you won't be hitting any of your shots. After 26 meters, your priority is to hit your shots. It doesn't matter where you're hitting them, you just want to make sure that you're hitting them. In close quarters combat, once again, it's very important that you are hitting the chest, arms, and head area. Like the AK-47, which by the way, I did actually make a guide on how to use the AK-47 a lot like this video, but like the AK-47, the M16 is a high risk, high reward weapon. The recoil on the weapon is not excessive. There is a decent amount of recoil, and if you actually practice this weapon, you will be able to master it to the point where there's almost no recoil. And this is because the recoil on the weapon is almost completely vertical. There is no side to side recoil, and to compensate for vertical recoil, all you do is pull down. But the weird thing is that because it's a burst, you will have to pull down and then pull back up, because as the recoil centers, you have to adjust for that. It's hard to explain exactly what I mean, but basically what you want to do is pull your thumb down when you're shooting, and then as soon as you're done shooting, you pull your finger back up. It takes practice, and I recommend maybe hopping in a game and just shooting at a wall and trying to keep your burst very centered, like without it moving all over the place. Try to keep it in one little spot. But again, the action is pull down and pull back up. The timing of it will take practice. But once again, because this gun does have a decent amount of recoil, and that recoil is especially felt at longer ranges, this weapon is not excessively great at game modes like Search and Destroy. The reason is because in Search and Destroy, people will be camping, they will be holding head glitches, and the head glitch is where they only show their head. They don't show their whole body, they're not running around. They're just camping in one spot trying to peek you. And the M16 is a terrible, terrible gun for situations like this. Because to actually one burst someone, you would have to hit all 3 shots to the head, and that is extremely hard when they're only showing the head. Obviously, as you practice, you can hit these as you get better with the weapon, but once again, this gun is not great in situations where people are camping and holding head glitches, which is very common in Search and Destroy. So if you are in Search and Destroy, I don't recommend using this weapon. Now let's go ahead and look at some other statistics. The M16 has a rate of fire of 475 rounds per second, which is extremely slow. And this is because of the very long delay in between bursts of 233 milliseconds. And because you don't have full control of your ammo, you're going to be shooting a lot of unnecessary bullets oftentimes. So I do recommend a extended mag or a fast mag. Personally, I like a fast mag, but it doesn't really matter which one you take. The ADS time is 233 milliseconds with iron sights and 267 milliseconds with optics. I do recommend a red dot on this because you have to have a ton of accuracy, and the iron sights are just very poor with the weapon. A tactical scope can work if you plan on playing a little bit longer range because it does have a little bit more zoom, but it will impact your close range abilities because a lot of zoom is not helpful when you're trying to play up close. So personally, I think a red dot is the most well-rounded sight, but a tactical scope does work, and I think iron sights are pretty much useless. The magazine size is 30 and can be 38 with an extended mag. And the statistic that is probably the worst for the M16 is that it has the lowest mobility of all of the ARs. You run at a speed of 5.74 meters per second, which is by far the slowest of any ARs and is actually really close to LMG speed. I would say it's right in the middle of the typical AR speed and the LMG speed, so very slow. So the lightweight perk is not a terrible option. I would definitely take the agile perk or the lightweight perk with the M16. Both of those perks will actually help your close quarter combat. And here are 3 classes that I personally would use with the M16. This is number 1. This class would be a little bit more for mid-range. This would be a little bit more of a long-range class, although I do not recommend using this weapon long-range. There is definitely much better weapons, including the S36, AK-117, even the Type 25, honestly. But if you do want to use it long-range, this would be a good class for doing that. And with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. I do want to give a huge shout out to our channel members, mega fans and above. So that includes Dopey Gaming, Fort Chug Jug, MGC Gaming as a elite fan, PUBG Master 327, and CBK Esports and Red Zero as ultimate fans. If you guys want to join the channel, you can see how to now. If you hear my voice right now, make sure to subscribe and like down below as well. Oftentimes people forget that they're actually not subscribed, but they want to see videos. So make sure to subscribe if you're not. And with that being said, I will see you guys later. Peace.